Jeremiah 50. So this whole passage is about a prophecy against Babylon, that God gave them power, but then they became arrogant against God. And so and it's interesting to me, the most interesting thing is that God speaks about a future event as if it happened in the past. So for example, it says right here that repay the time the error no one so hold on, let me find it. So right here, like a great destruction, a hammer of the whole earth has been cut off and broken, how Babylon has become an object of horror. So it's all kind of like spoken like in the past. And then it's because that they actually say, oh, it's not their fault that they treated Israel badly, pretty much. It's because God rejected, or it's because of God's punishment towards Israel. But God is actually using them to as an instrument, but pretty much also giving them a last chance to repent. But he already know that after 70 years, it's going to be their time of punishment will come, because that is his final, like, I guess, gift to them, for them to escape by honoring like the Israelite. But they didn't. They are harsh and cruel toward the Israelite instead. So let me find that in here. And right here it said, all who have found them, the Israelite, have devoured them, and their adversary, Israel's adversary, has said, we are not guilty, because we have, since the Israelite have sinned against the Lord. And so God actually gonna say that he will actually take vengeance on the people that harm his people. And all who plunder her will have enough. He will come with a vengeance. And then because they are glad, they are joyful, even though they pillage his inheritance, which means the Israelites. And then they are like just threshing around like a heifer and neigh like a stallion, like they were greatly happy. But now they will be humiliated, because this is the vengeance of the Lord. Take vengeance for Israel, pretty much. And then each of them will turn back to his own people, and each of them flee from his own land, because God will forgive those whom he left as a remnant. And the people that he left as a remnant are the people, are the Israelites that he let become captive in the land of Babylon. And so when we read everything and we tie everything together, we can see the whole plan of God. And then not only that, so many were against Babylon, because she has become arrogant against the Lord, against the Holy One of Israel. And then Israel's were oppressed. And then so a sword will be against the Chaldeans and inhabitants of Babylon, because it is a land of idols. And so pretty much like this is they're gonna be like Sodom and Gomorrah. So it's a lot. And then it's pretty much, there's a shout, Babylon has been conquered. And an outcry heard among the nations. So it sounds also like there was a reference where the Assyrian was the first to like pretty much rip Israel apart, but Nebuchadnezzar, the Babylonians, are the last to gnaw on Israel. Like, so they're they're kind of like pictures of like wild animals, like trying to tear at Israel, but God will protect Israel because Israel is his inheritance. And then when I read this, I couldn't help but think about how God is light. And then I remember a conversation with my husband where read a book where it's like light, there, like, so I remember a picture where there's like a single point, and then just light kind of like goes out and out and out and out and out. And so, and there is a point of light where I think it's like there's no time associated with it. And so I was wondering, since God is light and he doesn't have a beginning and he doesn't have an end, and everything kind of like emanates from what he does, and light travels. So I wonder if what he says everything as if it already happened. So imagine like a movie being played. What if our life is just something like a movie that is being shown on a screen, and Earth is pretty much the screen, and the source of the light, the source of the movie, the originator is God. And so everything that he does, it travels through time and it reaches Earth to be play on the screen. But it's like, so then we are seeing something that is pretty much already happened from the point of view of God. I don't know if it makes sense, but I don't know. Like when I was reading it, it just feels like everything that happened on earth has already happened, has been recorded, and that's how God can predict the future. That's how God can know what's gonna be the end. And so it's just, I don't know, I'm just toying with the idea, but somehow it kind of makes sense to me when I'm reading it and just like thinking about it. But yeah, the fact that God is outside of time, that he doesn't have a beginning and end, that time, there is the property of time. Time is actually not constant, it's relative. Things like that, when you kind of like just put it together, it somehow makes sense to me in a comparison to like a movie screen kind of like thing. But yeah, so yeah, anyway, so that's just my musing for today.